Hello, math students. Welcome back. This is Mr. Benson again, coming to you on a Friday to talk about a little bit more of career research and money, getting to know yourself a little better. Previously, we looked at career clusters. Now we are going to be back on the similar Minnesota career website, but we are going to look at a financial reality checklist. So on this site, you are going to click on Explore Careers. This time, we are going to go to Set Goals right here in the middle, down to Reality Check. On Schoology, you may have a link that takes you right to Reality Check. You're going to use the Reality Check tool, but you can come back and explore more on your own if you want to look up Dream Jobs or GPS Life Plan. Are you living in reality? We are going to scroll down and make some financial choices on dreams that we have as far as our living situation and see what it would cost us a month. So you're going to click on the middle of the page, Get a Reality Check. We're going to look at rent, car payments, food, clothing, and other things for a projected budget. So we click Start. As you see, there is a map of Minnesota that comes up. We know you might want to live other places, but for this purpose, let's think about a few years out of high school. Where do you plan on living if it is in Minnesota? I like the Duluth area, so I'm going to pick Duluth. As I scroll back up, I see that there are a bunch of icons up here on the side. I'm going to click on each one and answer the questions all the way through. Food, clothing, transportation, all the way to the end. Let's start with housing options. Sometimes they'll have you click one thing, sometimes they'll have you click more than one thing. As I think about moving to Duluth, I'm thinking about living in a one-bedroom apartment. And then I click back up here. What type of utilities? Well, I think I'm going to want water and electricity and gas. I am going to want internet. I have a cell phone, but I need a budget for it, so I'm going to click this. I don't need cable, and I'm not going to add any more expenses. So we're just going to work down the line. We would like you to do this to get to know more about yourself. I'm going to pause my video as I do this. I want you to pause it as you do it, and I'll meet you back here at the end. I'm not at the end, but I've gotten as far as healthcare. Right now, I currently get healthcare through my employer, so I'm going to click Buy Work Insurance. As I've worked through some of the other areas, I'm looking at miscellaneous. I do have a pet. Notice how this says, how much do you plan on spending monthly? So all these have been monthly. I'm not going to buy a ton of furniture monthly. I'm not huge into electronics. I am into travel, but $500 a month seems like a lot. So I think I spend more along the lines of $100 a month travel. So I'm going to enter that here instead of clicking more up here. So I have pet care and my own expenses. It would be great to have no debt. I do have a bachelor's and a master's degree, but since I've been out of school long enough, I don't have any debt in that. So I'm going to pick no debt. You could also put credit card fees here. We're almost to the end. I want to make sure I pay myself. So I'm going to look at trying to put away 10% myself. But my employer also matches if I put 3% away. So this is for my own savings. This is through my employer, so I'm going to put 3% there as well. Under the last icon, these gears here, goes back to career cluster. As we did previously, we explored career clusters, and I remember from last week that it said I belong in the human services cluster, career on human services. So I'm going to check that box. Now all of these are blue. The career cluster is clicked, and I'm going to click right up here under results. It says that based on my career cluster, it says based on the expenses that I chose, that I'm looking spending about $2,300 a month. So I'm going to click on results and see what it says. As you do this, notice that based on how I see myself living in a few years up in Duluth, these are approximately what I've decided to budget for. And looking over here, it looks like my biggest expense is housing, and I'd say that's pretty consistent with most people. My second biggest expense looks like it's food. Based on my current experience, absolutely. And my third happens to be utilities. Look, I could switch the area I live in. Maybe I want to move into Minneapolis and St. Paul. Housing becomes even more. That's because based on the one-bedroom apartment, it's more expensive. So what Mr. Whitehill and Ms. Hoffman and any of your other math teachers that are having you do this right now want you to do is just explore and think about yourself and your choices, and in reality, what it might cost you to live the lifestyle that you're expecting 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road. You can go back and switch these options and then go back to results to learn from yourself. Don't forget to fill out our Google form. Have a good day.